Now, you told me earlier that you were visiting your parents. What do your friends and family think about all of these adventures you take on?
They're getting quite used to it now.
Okay, I can imagine.
Luckily, a lot of my friends, Rombal Kai, Kyron Polfram, and Andrew Chin, Talks for Viers, those are the close-knit group that I've got who all have the same appetite, and we've travelled the world together. So they're either part of it, they're not this time, but they usually are, and they're usually planning it. So we all support each other. Family don't like it very much at all. They're very supportive, of course, but it's difficult for them. This particular challenge, there's less dangers. It's a very structured one, but usually what we're doing is going to some strangely remote place in the world in extreme temperatures and trying something that's never been tried before, and that's usually a good reason it hasn't been tried before. And that puts a lot of pressure on ourselves, but also on our loved ones.
Now, you mentioned that you are really a solo swimmer. This is a relay expedition, the 2 ways on the North Channel. Do you ever plan to do it on your own?
I hope to do a solo crossing only the one way at this stage. Maybe my ambitions will grow over time, but I would very much like to. There are 25 people in the world who have ever made it across from Ireland to Scotland as a one-way solo swim. So that's really my appetite. As I said earlier, I've done the English Channel, which over 1,000 people have now done it, but it's still an extremely difficult swim. This is a similar distance. It's just colder water, more unpredictable currents or less predictable currents, and the jellies and various other factors. So yes, I'm hoping in 2017 to put my name down for a solo attempt.
This might seem like a stupid question, but how do you avoid getting sick in such extreme temperatures?
I don't know. It's not really sickness that I worry about, it's hypothermia that you worry about. Hypothermia is the killer. And we train a lot for that. We have a lot of cold water in Camps Bay and Clifton on our doorsteps. I spend a lot of time. I've done 53 Robben Island crossings from Robben Island to the mainland, and you learn a lot in that 7.5 kilometers of cold water about your tolerance. And then when we go to more extreme temperatures, what we do, we go to our friendly I&J down the way of the fishery company, and they very kindly, quite used to us by now, they fill up a big blue tub of ice. We bring that water down to usually between 2, 1 or 0 degrees Celsius. I jump in my Speedo and I get in that water, and you feel all those horrible physical effects that happens when you get into extreme cold. The blood rushes from your extremities, not just toes and fingers, your legs and arms. All that blood rushes to protect your vital organs in your core. And that's quite a horrible feeling. In fact, it's a very horrible feeling, and it's very disconcerting, and your mind does absolutely everything it can to get you out. So while I'm sitting in that tub of ice, I'm processing that feeling. I'm convincing myself that I can survive it and I can overcome it, and I'm trying to figure out how am I going to perform physically when I'm in the actual challenge itself. So that's all part of adapting and getting your head in the right space. Now, luckily, what I'm doing in Ireland isn't ultra extreme cold. It's just big distance, long times, lots of fatigue, and also very cold water, just not ice water.
What made you want to start doing all of these extreme long distances and extreme cold swims?
Well, also a journey. You don't sit down one day and say, I'm going to do this, but you start small. And for me, it was literally getting myself off the couch. About 15 years ago, I'd never really swum before. And not only socially, and I was spending a lot of time on the couch with the remote watching TV and eating pizza, and I decided it's time to change that. So I joined a little swimming squad, literally just to do a few lengths and get a bit fit. And slowly but surely, you swim 10 lengths, and that's a mission, and then you see people who are swimming a lot further, so you try and push it a bit. And eventually someone says, why don't you attempt to swim Robben Island to Blouberg? You think, well, that's just the most stupid thing you've ever heard. That's for the super elite. But one thing leads to another. You eventually set that challenge and you accomplish it, and you realize, wow, I'm actually able to do a lot more than I thought. These are all lessons I bring back into the talks I give as well. And of course, we've taken that to extreme levels.